In today's video, I'm going to be focusing your attention on some practical action verbs that you can use and take advantage of in English to describe where things are or provide a more in-depth or in detailed description of where things are located or where something is or lies. Are you ready? Of course you are, so make sure you watch this video to the very end. The first English verb that we can use to describe the location of something or where something lies is to protrude from something. To protrude from something. When one thing protrudes from another, it sticks out from it. So to protrude from something means to stick out from something. Now I want to provide you with a visual example of this verb to see how we can use it and what it exactly means. The wires protruded from the wall. The wires protruded from the wall, which means the wires stuck out from the wall. The wires stuck out from the wall. So this photo that you can see here is a perfect example of one thing protruding from another thing. As you can see in the photo, the wires are protruding from the wall, right? So this is the meaning of protruding from something. One thing protruding from something. Now we get to the next English action verb that you can use to say where something is located or where something lies, which is to perch on something. To perch on something. To perch on something means to sit or rest on something lightly, or to sit or rest on the edge of something. Let me provide you with a visual example of this verb used in a sentence. Look at this photo. According to this photo, a cat is perching on a windowsill. A cat is perching on a windowsill, which means a cat is resting or is sitting lightly on a windowsill, or the cat is actually sitting or resting on the edge of the window. So, to perch on something means to sit or rest on something lightly, in the same way as this cat is, as you can see in the photo. Alright, now we get to the third practical English action verb that, if you know, you can provide a better or a more detailed or in-depth description of where things are or where something is, which is to dangle from something. To dangle from something. To dangle from something means to hang loosely from something. Once again, to dangle from something means to hang loosely from something. Now let me give you an example of this sentence in the form of a photo to help you gain a better understanding of this action verb. I saw monkeys dangling from tree branches. I saw monkeys dangling from tree branches, which means I saw monkeys hanging from tree branches, as you can see in this photo, right? According to the photo, there are some monkeys hanging from the tree branches, right? Which means they're dangling from the tree branches. So when you dangle from something, you hang loosely from something. Exactly as these monkeys are in the photo. Alright, now we're proceeding to the next English action verb to provide an in-depth or in detailed description of where something is, which is to lean on or against something. To lean on or against something. When someone or something leans on or against something, when a person or a thing leans on or against something, it rests at an angle against or on that thing. Let me provide you with a visual example of a sentence in which lean on or against is used to gain a better understanding. As you can see in this photo, the ladder is leaning on the wall. In this photo, the ladder is leaning on the wall, which means the ladder is resting at an angle against the wall or on the wall. Now we're getting to the next English action verb that you can use to describe the location of something, which is to abut something. To abut something. Once again, to abut something. But what does it mean when one thing abuts another? Well, when something abuts another, it borders or touches or lies directly next to something, especially in terms of land, buildings, or structures. So when we say a building abuts another building, it means a building touches or borders or lies directly next to another building. So when one thing in English abuts another, it borders or touches or lies directly next to another thing. An example of this phrase in the form of a photo. As you can see, the property abuts the city park. As you can see in the photo, the property abuts the city park, which means the property touches the city park. The property borders the city park, or the property lies directly next to the city park. So, to abut something means to be right next to something, to touch something, to border something, or lie directly next to something. Now we get to the next practical English action verb that you gotta know to be able to provide a more in-depth or detailed description of where something is or where something lies, which is to lodge in something. You can also use the preposition between, to lodge in or between something. To lodge in or between something. When something lodges in something or lodges between two things, it gets stuck there. It gets stuck between two things, or it gets stuck in something, or it gets firmly positioned in something or between two objects. So to lodge between two things means to get stuck between two things, or to be positioned firmly between two things. Look at this photo that I have provided for you, and let me give you an example of this photo to help you gain a better understanding of this verb, to lodge in or between something. As you can see, a pebble means a very small piece of stone. A pebble is lodged in the shoelace. As you can see, a pebble is lodged in the shoelace, which means a pebble has got stuck or has been firmly positioned in the shoelace. Now we're proceeding to the next English action verb that you gotta know to be able to provide, a better description of something, a more in-depth or in detail description of something, which is to hover over or above something. To hover over or above something. When one thing hovers over or above another thing, it stays in the air over something, or it floats over something, or it is buoyant, it is in the air, it floats in the air, it stays in the air, or it floats in the air over something. So to hover above or over something means to stay in the air over something, or to float over something, or to, fly over something. An example. According to this photo, the drone is hovering over the field. According to this photo, the drone is hovering over the field, which means the drone is staying in the air over the field, or the drone is floating above or over the field. And now we get to the final action verb of today's video that you can use to describe the location of something. Are you ready? Of course you are. To pin something against something. To pin something against something. When you pin something against something, you fasten or hold something in place against something. You push or press something against something. So to pin something against something means to fasten or hold something in place, usually by pushing it or by pressing it against something. Have a look at this photo. In this photo, the lady is pinning the note against the board. The lady is pinning the note against the board, which means the lady is holding or fastening the note in place against the board by pushing it or by pressing it against the board. So the lady is holding or fastening the note by pushing or by pressing it against the board. And that's about all, guys. Now let's review all these action verbs once again together. To protrude from something. To protrude from something. To perch on something. To perch on something. To dangle from something. To dangle from something. To lean against or on something. To lean against or on something. To abut something. To abut something. To lodge in or between something. To lodge in or between something. To hover over or above something. To hover above or over something. To pin something against something. To pin something against something. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of your YouTube English teacher. Thank you for doing so, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.